of Krishna. So now today she will tell that what is the qualification or who are those who can achieve Krishna, who can attain Krishna, or rather who can possess Krishna. Yesterday we discussed Janmaishwarya Shruta Shibhir Edamana Madha Kumar. So Janma, Janmina, having birth, high parentage, birth in a rich family, aristocratic family, wealthy family, or birth in a Brahmanical family. Aishwarya, material wealth, and good education, and having material beauty. So these are the reasons or causes for one to be intoxicated, maddened by pride. A person who has pride in his heart, he cannot take shelter of Krishna. And then she gives the hint here that tvam akiñcana-gochara. But you are easily approached by those who are akiñcana. Akiñcana means that who does not have anything material to possess. That means he is materially exhausted. Okay, so we'll go further. Verse number 27. From akiñcana gochara, now she is glorifying Krishna as akiñcana-vittāya. Namo akiñcana-vittāya, nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye, ātmā-ārāmāya, śāntāya, kaivalya-pataye namaḥ. So who can approach Krishna? In the last verse, she said that those who are akiñcana. So akiñcana means that the person who does not have any material possessions. But those people, those devotees who possess Krishna, they are materially exhausted, but spiritually most prosperous. The most prosperous person is one who possesses Krishna. So they consider Krishna to be their only property, nothing else. So they do not possess anything of this world, but they only possess Krishna. Their only property is Krishna. So she is glorifying that namo akiñcana-vittāya. And he is nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye, that he is nivṛtt. Nivṛtt means is completely free or is completely beyond what? The three modes, guna. And he has affection for whom? Those who are ātma-ārāmāya. Who is ātma-ārām? What does ātma-ārām mean? What does ātma-ārām means? Yes, Sonika?
ātmārāmāya means who feels bliss inside, from inner side. He is not dependent on the outer world or material world.
You remember that verse that we discussed in length in Bhagavad Gita? Yo antar sukho ātmārāmas tathantar jyotirevaya sayogi brahma nirvānam brahma bhutadi gacchati. It is in the 5th chapter. Manoram Prabhu. 5th chapter, either 23rd or 27th verse. Yo antar sukho ātmārāmas. One who seeks pleasure from within. Antara. So those who are possessing you as their property, Krishna, they are not looking for any external pleasure or any external possession, because their happiness is within. So they are ātmā-ārāmāya. And also they are śāntāya. Śāntāya means that there is no material hankering. There is no anxiety. What they are experiencing? They are experiencing the unlimited bliss from within. Found it? Or should I tell you the verse number? Jo antar sukho, ātmā-ārāmāya, tatha antar jyotirvedaya.
24.
This is in the 5th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Twenty-four. Yeah. So here it is ātmā-ārāmāya. Here it is one who is actively enjoying within. Precise definition of who is Atma. Ra means one who is in the highest bliss. Ram means the highest pleasure. And where is that highest pleasure? What is the source of the highest pleasure? Is Atma. So who is actively enjoying within. Show the translation. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually a perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme. He is Brahma Nirvana and Brahma Bhutadi Gacchati, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. The Prabhupada says, unless one is able to relish happiness from within, how can one retire from external engagement meant for deriving superficial happiness? A liberated person enjoys happiness by factual experience. He can therefore sit silently at any place and enjoy the activities of life from within. Such a liberated person no longer desires external material happiness. This is called Brahma Bhut, attaining which one is assured of going back to Godhead, back to home. That is the spiritual situation of Kunti Devi. Okay, close it. We go to the verse. So Kunti Devi is appreciating the devotees of Krishna. He is saying, my obeisances are unto you. You are the property. You are vittaya. With means that is valuable. Or with also means which is money. So you are the property of those who are materially impoverished. Akiñcana. A sadhu should be akiñcana. Or a devotee. Why only a sadhu? A devotee. A devotee is always a sadhu or a sadhvi. What it means to be a devotee? That he is akiñcana. Many times we speak, either we can have Krishna or we can have from Krishna. There are two parties. One is the party of Duryodhana, who wanted to have from Krishna. He took away the Narayanism. And Arjuna was happy having only Krishna without his Sena. So Kunti Devi, see, that is Arjuna is the worthy son of Kunti Devi. In her prayers, what she is speaking, Arjuna actually executed that. Arjuna did not opt for the Sena or the strength of the Lord. He only wanted the Lord himself. So Kunti Devi is here glorifying that namo akiñcana-vittāya. Obeisances are unto you who are the property of the materially impoverished. And is nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye. Nivṛtta means that he is completely, here Prabhupada says, transcendental, or who is nothing to do with. He has nothing to do with guna, the material modes. Material modes cannot work on Krishna. Why? Because the modes are within the control of Krishna. The creation cannot bound the creator. You have heard this principle? The creation is not above the creator. The creation is within the creator. So is nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye. You have nothing to do with the actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. Then ātmā-ārāmāya śāntāya. You are self-satisfied and therefore you are kaivalya-pataye namo. Kaivalya. Kaivalya has two meanings. You know, kaivalya bhakti. What does kaivalya bhakti means? You've heard or not? There is Mishra Bhakti and there is Kaivalya Bhakti. Mishra Bhakti also has at least three types. Karma Mishra, Yoga Mishra and Gyan Mishra. So Kaivalya Bhakti is Shuddha Bhakti. That Bhakti which is akiñcana-vittāya. It is also called, one of the other name of Kaivalya Bhakti is akiñcana-vittāya or Prema Bhakti, where the only focus is on the object of love, and that is Krishna and nothing else. No one and nothing else. So that is called Kaivalya Bhakti. And there is also Kaivalya Mukti. You heard Kaivalya Mukti? That is called the liberation into the effulgence. So here Prabhupada is translating as the master of the monist. So the Jnanis, their aim is this Kaivalya Mukti. So śāntāya kaivalya-pataye namaḥ. So he is master of the monist. And namaḥ, I offer my obeisances. Okay, understood the verse? Easy to remember. Namo akiñcana-vittāya nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye ātmā-ārāmāya śāntāya kaivalya-pataye namaḥ. ठीक है? कोई वर्ड समझ में नहीं आया तो पूछ लो, कभी भूलेंगे नहीं. The way we are trying to understand each and every word, then it will not, we don't have to make much ratta. रट्टा इरेज हो जाएगा, वो टिकेगा नहीं. और अंडरस्टैंडिंग आ गया तो वो मिटेगा नहीं. बोलो दयाशील. यस,
प्रभु जी, मास्टर ऑफ द मोनिस्ट
बताया तो अभी. कैवल्याय का दो मीनिंग समझाया ना. क्या क्या बताया, बताइए क्या समझा.
one kaivalya is प्रभु जी the pure bhakti, another is those who are after the mukti.
या तो कैवल्य मुक्ति सायुज्यम. This is the Jnanis. Jnanis are only interested in liberation, but the bhaktas are not interested in liberation. What is their interest?
Kaivalya bhakti प्रभु जी, प्रेमा भक्ति. प्रेमा
What does
भक्ति.
it mean, Kevala Bhakti? What does it mean?
Only service of the Supreme Lord Prabhu.
Yes, yes. Love. Unalloyed service. Selfless service. Okay. A living being is finished as there is nothing to possess. Prabhupada is, talking about the contemporary world. Previously, it was said that if health is lost, something is lost. If wealth is lost, nothing is lost. And if character is lost, everything is lost. But that was in the bygone ages. But now, what contemporary people, the modern man thinks, so Prabhupada is highlighting that as living being is finished, as soon as there is nothing to possess. But now that has been changed. That principle has been reversed. First is the same. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, nothing is lost. And if wealth is lost, everything is lost. So Prabhupada begins with this statement. A living being is finished as soon as he has nothing to possess. Therefore, a living being cannot be in the real sense of the term a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. Please try to understand. This is very deep. So Prabhupada is saying, you see, the word Prabhupada is explaining, akiñcana-vittāya. Prabhupada is explaining akiñcana-vittāya. So Prabhupada is saying, in a real sense, no one is a renouncer. Because one renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his childish proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up this job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world. Akiñcana-vittāya. Or in the last word, what she was speaking, that akiñcana-gochara. So if somebody is giving up, if he is materially impoverished, or he is materially exhausted, or materially he is a beggar, what it means? Prabhupada is saying here, the Srila Rupa goes, okay, that a devotee renounces the material world not for nothing, but for something tangible in the spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. So they were big ministers, big landlords. Sanatan Goswami was the prime minister. Rupa Goswami was the finance minister. And Raghunath Das Goswami, his father and uncle, had collection of 2 million gold coins every year. Just imagine. But what they did? Tyaktva tu namashesha mandalpati Śrīnims sadatuchva bhutva dīna ganesha ko karuniya. So they gave up all their big post position, their prosperity, their opulence. But they did not give up for gaining nothing. This is what Prabhupada wants to highlight. That a devotee is least bothered for material prosperity. Rather, he gives up the material prosperity for the sake of service of the Lord. They were big men in the worldly sense. Rupa and Sanatan Goswami were ministers in the government service of Bengal, and Raghunath Das Goswami was the son of big zamindar at the time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. So why they gave up so easily? Because they possess something much more superior or much more valuable. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have very secret treasure housed in the lotus feet of the Lord. And Prabhupada says that there is a nice story about Srila Sanatan Goswami. He had a touchstone with him. Touchstone, you know, if you touch the stone with the iron, it converts into gold. Not like that. When there is another funny story. Once, a very miser man, he got a touchstone. And he was told that as much of iron you bring, you can convert the iron into gold. So a saintly person wanted to release him from his miserliness. He said, you will have as much gold. So you will be free of your miserliness because you'll have so much property and so much asset to possess. So after 10 years, the saintly person came back. But he saw that that person was in the same situation. He was very surprised. What happened? Did you lost your touchstone? Or somebody else took it? He said, no, the touchstone is with me. So the saintly person said, I told you that if you bring as much iron and you touch it with this touchstone, it will convert into gold. So this man said, yes, that is what I am also thinking. But I am waiting for the rates of iron to come down so that I can buy in bulk. I am waiting for the rate of iron to come down so that I can buy in bulk and convert in gold. That is what our human life is. This is what we are doing. But here, what Sanatan Goswami did, and he kept this stone, was left in a pile of refuse. So where Sanatan Goswami kept it? In a pile of refuse in a garbage area. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked him for the most valuable thing. And when he was given the holy name of the Lord, you know the story, no? Sanatana Goswami said that, yes, I have something more valuable than this. That is why I don't care for this stone. So that Brahmana who came from Varanasi, he said that I want to possess that. Then what did Sanatana Goswami said? That you have to go and drop this stone in Yamuna. When you come back empty hand, then only you can possess. But then only you can have that which is more valuable than that stone. So therefore, he asked him for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Akiñcana means one who has nothing to give materially. What is the example of an akiñcana devotee of Krishna? Real akiñcana devotee of Krishna. Bolo. There in Krishna Lila. बोलो रविंदर, क्या बोल रहे हो?
प्रभु जी, कृष्ण लीला की बात कर रहे हैं या यहीं पे
तो कृष्ण लीला आपके लिए इजी है कनेक्ट करना, इसलिए
सुदामा?
हाँ, सुदामा is namo kiñcana-vittāya. Nothing he had. So impoverished that nothing was there to offer to Krishna. A kiñcana means who has nothing to give materially. A factual devotee or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. Very important principle. Very, very important. Prabhupada says a factual devotee, not a show devotee, or devotee in show, or devotee in know. Or Mahatma does not give anything material to anyone. Very profound. He does not give anything material to anyone because he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of the Godhead, because he is the only property of the factual devotees. So we should never ever give anyone any formulas for any material success. Never ever tell him that if you chant, you will pass in exam. If you chant, your business will grow. If you chant, this will happen or that will happen. Never. If he is actually a devotee, Prabhupada is using the word factual devotee, he has left everything material and he does not give anything material to anyone. But what he does, he gives the greatest asset, he connects the soul to Krishna. He becomes an instrument to connect and revive the lost relationship with Krishna. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead, because he is the only property of factual devotee. The touchstone of Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. The Prabhupada is giving very deep purpose. Otherwise, it would not have been kept in such a place. The specific example is given for the neophyte devotees, just to convince them that the material hankering and spiritual advancement go ill together. Material hankering and spiritual advancement go ill together. Material hankering and spiritual advancement. Like Prabhupada used to say, you cannot mix oil and water. It cannot mix. It will never mix. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Srila Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us because we have no such spiritual vision. Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living being in the bondage of material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha. Anartha. Artha means which has some meaning. And artha also means which has that some value. Isn't it? Artha means a meaning and also means value. But anartha means which has no meaning and no value. It is useless. Or things not wanted. Actually, this is so. In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipsticks at a cost of 50 cents. Prabhupada is hammering. And there are so many unwanted things. I don't think you will get it in 50 cents now. Prabhupada at that time, he mentioned that, which are all products of the material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of human life. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy, because even if the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. What are the problems of life which cannot be solved by going to the moon? Ganesh?
Prabhuji, question once again, Prabhuji.
What are the problems of life which still are not solved even if you go to moon? That means you are not aware of what is the problem of life. You are thinking. Pradeep?
जन्म मृत्यु जरा व्याधि.
Yes. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Krishna says, not everyone can see the problem of life. Dukkha doshanu darshanam. Anudarshanam. You go to moon, you go to foreign land, you go anywhere. The problem of life remains the same. Because even if the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. The devotees of the Lord are called akiñcanas because they have practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus, the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have good chance for spiritual progress. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with the material activity. All his acts and deeds which are exhibited even in this material world are spiritual and thus unaffected by the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental. And that one who knows this perfectly shall not take his birth again in the material world, but will go back to Godhead. The material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over material nature. This hankering is due to an interaction of the three modes of nature. And neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachment for such false enjoyment. Therefore, the Lord and the devotees are called nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye. The perfect nivṛtta-guṇa-vṛttaye is the Supreme Lord, because he never becomes attracted by the modes of material nature, whereas the living beings have such a tendency. Some of them are entrapped by the illusory attraction of material nature. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees and the devotee are the property of the Lord, reciprocally. Sadhuvo hridayamayam, sadhunam hideto. Both reciprocally. Krishna is saying that the saintly devotees are captured in my heart. Sadhuvo hridayamayam. And sadhunam hideto. And in the heart of sadhu, who is there? The Lord is there. So this is the reciprocation, reciprocally. Prabhupada is using the word here reciprocally. The devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. This is the natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees. Mishra, I was discussing. This is kaivalya. Krishna is kaivalya-pataye. They are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries, poverty, or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. So what is Prabhupada talking about? Approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries and poverty, or because of inquisitiveness and speculation. What are they called? Mixed devotees. Who are these mixed devotees? Who are these mixed devotees? जल्दी बोलो, इसमें सोचना क्या है? Yes, Madan Swarup Prabhu?
चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम.
Yes, it's a chaturvidha bhajante maam. Artho jigyasu artharthi.
ज्ञानी.
These are all the same category. The unalloyed devotees and the unalloyed devotees and the Lord are transcendently attached to one another. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate, and therefore he is called ātma-ārāmāya, self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is the master of all monists who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monists merge with this personal effulgence of the Lord called the Brahma-jyoti. But the devotees enter into the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. I'll take at least one more verse. Manne tvam kalam ishanam anadi nidanam vibhum samam cha charantam sarvatra bhutanam mithakali. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be the eternal time. Manne tvam kalam ishanam. Kalam is the eternal time. And eternal time, Krishna is the master, Ishanam. Manne means that I consider. Tvam means unto you, your Lordship, which is Anadi. Kala is from time immemorial. And Nidhanam, neither it has a beginning, so there is no question of end. And Vibhum is all pervading. Krishna is Vibhum and Jiva is, what is Jiva?
Anu.
Yes. Yes, Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Anu.
Anu, yes. Is infinitesimal. Krishna is all pervading, whereas the living entity is infinitesimal, very, very, very minute. He is samam, charantam, sarvatra. So I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, Ishana. Without beginning and end is Anadi and Nidhinam, and all pervasive one. Vibhum. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. Samam charantam sarvatra. So in distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. And bhutanam mithakali. The distinction between living beings are due to social intercourse. Prabhupada writes very superior English. The distinction between living beings are due to social intercourse. We will understand this. Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as the super soul Paramatma. Another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is Kala, or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad. And thus, resultant reactions are destined by him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeeds for which we may suffer at the present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion. And therefore, he knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of the Lord Krishna destines all actions and reactions, he is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of glass can move. The living beings are given so much freedom as they deserve. The misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. Very important. Prabhupada said that it is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. What is the reason of suffering? Is the misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kal. The Kal offers the conditioned souls both happiness and misery. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries without calling for them, so we have happiness also without asking for them. This principle is very clear, should be very clear. As we have happiness without asking or calling, so as we have miseries without calling for them. Because it is predestined by Kala. No one is therefore either an enemy or a friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the result of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living being in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all-pervading and therefore he can see everyone's activity. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, he is also known as eternal time. So I'll stop here. So we covered till 28th verse. Okay, so keep reading, revising, and memorizing. How many have memorized till yesterday's verse? कल तक के श्लोक किनको याद हो गए? Very good. First hand, emphatic from there, Shil. Very good. This is good utilization of holidays. Otherwise, you know what Prabhupada is writing. Both of you. And why one hand is from the Ravinder side? Priyanka, आपका हाथ है या ये? दोनों का हो गया? Very good. मनोराम, तुम्हारे लिए मुश्किल होगा. कर लिया? छोड़ना मत. नहीं किया तो खाना मत. Simple. Pradeep and Ganesh?
प्रभु जी 8th वर्ष तक किया है, 9th वर्ष भी याद नहीं किया।
चढ़ना शुरू हो गया तो पकड़ नहीं पाओगे, तो रह जाओगे, पिछड़े तो गए। और मदन स्वरूप प्रभु आप कितने याद किए हैं? अनम्यूट होके बोलिए।
नहीं हुआ पता,
कोई भी नहीं याद किया?
कोई नहीं याद हुआ।
क्यों? इतने बिजी हैं?
स्लेट वापस क्लीन हो जाती है पता।
हाँ,
स्लेट वापस क्लीन हो जाती है।
समझ नहीं पाया मैं क्या कह रहे हैं आप। सुना आपने क्या बोला इन्होंने?
मैं कह रहा हूँ अगले दिन साफ हो जाता वापस।
तो लिख के याद किया आपने?
हाँ लिख के, मतलब लिख के करा तो
हाँ, लिख
सारा
के
नहीं,
करते रहिए,
लिख के करा।
वो आपका काम नहीं है। भगवान बोलते हैं मत्ता स्मृतिर ज्ञानम अपोहनम च। मुझसे स्मृति भी आती है और मुझसे फ्रॉम मी कम्स रिमेम्बरेंस एंड फॉरगेटफुलनेस। So you do your part. At least write every verse 3 times and pray. We have to pray to Krishna. 2 days back, I had a experience. For the first time, I missed Mangal Aarti. नींद खुली नहीं. And it was a big knock on my head. First time I missed in my life. And I was shivering. And I really prayed to Krishna. What I have to learn? I have to sleep in time. I was thinking, मैं तो उठ ही जाता हूँ. मैं इनको बोलता हूँ 10 बजे सो जाओ. मैं सोता हूँ 11-12 बजे. नॉक ऑफ कर दिया कृष्णा ने. एक ही पंच में नॉक कर दिया. इतने सालों की तपस्या एक दिन में सारा अहंकार निकाल दिया. तो bhakti is the path of mercy. Endeavor has to be there. Endeavor enables us to attract mercy. So if we have done our part, it is up to Krishna. कल 10 बजे सो गया था क्योंकि डर गया मंगल आरती मिस ना हो जाए. तो अभी तो ये कसम खा लिया मैं 10 बजे सोऊंगा चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए. हाँ, क्योंकि मंगल आरती मिस नहीं कर सकते. तो बहुत जरूरी है. अभी लिख रहे हैं प्रभुपाद जी लिख रहे हैं one gives up something to get something better. And what we are doing, we are giving up something which is more valuable to get something which is waste. So why waste? So please keep the effort going. The success of Krishna consciousness is the effort. It is not the result. If the effort is sincere, Krishna accepts it. Okay? और जिन लोगों के फॉर्म है भाई वापस भेज दो. मनोराम आपको भेजा था फॉर्म देवाशीष ने. वो आप क्या समझ रहे हो? आप 24 तारीख को आओगे तब फॉर्म लेके आओगे और आपका कार्ड बन जाएगा. हाँ तो भैया उसको रिप्लाई करो. ठीक है.
I'll post it.
हाँ बात कर लो देवाशीष से करो. और अभी कहाँ हो आप लोग? रम्या एंड दयाशील.
प्रभु जी मैं फादर इन लॉ हाउस प्रभु जी.
अच्छा अच्छा ठीक है. कल का क्या है भैया? स्पिरिचुअल साइंटिस्ट है या नहीं है?
यस प्रभु जी वी कैन हैव प्रभु जी.
इनविटेशन भेज दो. मुझे वर्ष नंबर बता दो. आई विल गिव एन ऑनलाइन क्लास.
यस प्रभु.
ओके. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. हरि हरि बोल. हरे कृष्ण.